Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to a Friday night's Talking Town. It is, of course, our match day preview, big match build-up ahead of tomorrow's 3 p.m. kickoff, Portman Road, Ipswich Town versus Everton. Lots of chatter on social media all through the week. Lots of chat going on in our live chat. Love to see it. Get your comments in, your thoughts, your topics. I do want your topics. We'll try and feature some towards the end of the show. Anything on your Ipswich Town brain of yours, do let us know, and we'll try and feature it. We'll try and talk about it, question, a statement. Is it a must-win game tomorrow? So a few people say it's a must-win, etc., etc. Adi, who's been a member for 28 months. Adi, you are a legend in every single way. Says, good evening, everyone. Great to be back at Portman Road again. I hate these international breaks. Yeah, I'm going to mention that a little bit through the course of the show. I don't like them either. And apparently it's in like 3 or 4 weeks until the next one. What are we doing? What is this madness? But we'll cover that, I'm sure, as we go through. Josh says O'Shea and Greaves both out, says Josh. I don't know where he's heard this from, but I know O'Shea has a back problem. I can sympathise. Trust me, I can sympathise with a back problem. Both that and film with confidence, to be honest. I didn't hear anything about Greaves, but we'll obviously cover that through the course of the show. Don't forget, we are partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. They're on our screen. You can download the app anywhere you normally download your app. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. And each time you play, you do support the crucial work of the East Anglian Air Ambulance, a crucial service I'm sure we can all agree. Over 18s only, be gamble aware, £2 bingo card, also bingos, all the Premier League games. Download the app, check out the app, and see what you can do. But over 18s only, be gamble aware. Legacy says 100% must win. Nice to see you, Mike. I hope you're well. Colin says nobody knows the team, only Kieran McKenna. Well, I hope he does, Colin. If he doesn't, we're in big trouble. Sean looking like we are weak in defence. What you're saying? Well, we're going to cover that through the course of the show, I'm sure. So get your points in. I'll try and star a few comments, and we'll come back to them. We'll circle around them. But joining me, as always, or certainly more often than not, is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Matthew Phillips. Welcome in, sir. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
You're not been enjoying international football? That's a surprise.
Well, look, after West Ham 4, Ipswich Town 1, I literally put the headphones down after last night's Sunday show and checked out of football, man. International breaks, this is a World Cup or a European Championships, it ain't for me.
No,
it ain't for me.
You like the big tournaments, don't you? Tell everyone what you've been doing then. Where you been? You went to the Spurs Stadium, didn't you?
The viewers know. Well, of course, yeah. I went to London for the weekend. I went to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the Sunday for the NFL, the Chicago Bears, and they won. My team won. Only did they win, Matt. They blew the Jaguars away. It was a great weekend. And that stadium, if you've not been yet and you've got tickets to go, you're in for a treat. It is a wow, Matt. It is like a different world, an absolute different world. My third visit there.
I've not been there. I went to White Hart Lane several times, but I've not been to that new one. Is it one of the best stadiums in the world, do you think? I mean, everyone always looks to America, don't they, for these things, but maybe one's right on our doorstep.
Well, obviously, it was designed and it was built, in conjunction with the NFL and a partnership with the NFL, and it very much is, a hybrid stadium. But it's just a different world. And I remember going the first time I went there a couple of years ago for my first visit, and I remember sitting there thinking, these play the same sport as my football club, but this stadium is nowhere near the levels of your Ashton Gate, your Vicarage Roads, even to an extent, I'm not sure I love it, your Portman Roads. It is a different world. The food options, the beer options, the space, the look, the feel, the view. It's amazing.
Could you drink a beer in the stadium?
Yeah, well, it's NFL. That's what makes me laugh. You can sit there with a beer in your hand watching the football. When Town fans go in a couple of weeks' time, there'll be none of that.
West Ham's anything to go by. You have to show your ticket 6 times just to go to the toilet.
Yeah, well, this is it. Yeah, Colin, obviously, I mentioned that on the previous show. I saw 2 shows on the Saturday, a musical, Lion King matinee, and then I saw...
Got recognised?
Yeah, that reminds me. I want to give a shout out to the gentleman who approached me in the Trafalgar Theatre and said, "Hello, you're Gov, aren't you?" And I was like, "I'm in London."
Right.
I was thinking, I didn't drive here, so I've not parked illegally. Okay, yes, I am. But no, big shout out. Thank you so much for saying hello. It really is. And he watches on TV. So we're on his TV right now, Matt. Wave to his wife, who wasn't the biggest of Talking Town fans.
Was she not?
Well, so he tells me.
She probably suffers us.
Well, because we're on all the time, apparently. Those were his words, But we'll try and,
That's like your wife,
into the fan. Everyone's welcome here. But it's a great weekend. But what I missed, and I didn't see it until I got back to the hotel, which, by the way, we had a 4:30 fire alarm. Someone was smoking in their room. So at 4:30, the
What
fire.
the hell?
I know. Where it's a kid-free weekend, and the fire alarm goes up at 4:30. But I didn't see the fight
Did
until
you leave? Did you leave the hotel? Or did you stay in your room?
we were queued up to leave.
Oh my god! I just put my head under the duvet.
Yeah.
I don't care if I burn.
Well, I thought it would go off. I thought it would go off, and then it didn't. So we're queuing up to go down this stairwell, and I'm thinking, right, I've just walked past a big window. There's a chair in my room. Worst case scenario, that chair's going through the window. Now, I'm glad I waited a few minutes because then the staff appeared and said, no fire, back to your rooms.
What was
Otherwise, it would have been a bit messy.
question? What was everyone predominantly wearing? Dressing gowns that you'd get in the hotel?
It was 4:30 in the morning. I was so asleep, the alarm had entered my dream, and I thought I'd pressed the alarm by mistake.
It's your fault.
I wasn't looking at what people are wearing. I was trying to work out just what's going on. But yeah, so I didn't see the fight, but I saw the highlights. My days, Matt, what a fight from Wardley.
Yeah. Oh my god. I thought Wardley might lose that because he had that nose injury in the first fight, and he's been kind of like impacted by that for the last 2 or 3 fights now. But you know, and we saw that in the first one against Clark, but he just blew him away. And I see that everyone's asking now about whether or not the gloves he was wearing was legit. Well, they were legit because they got passed by the British Border Control, which was obviously the governing body there and overseeing all the fights, which is why you've got British referees. And they won't be revisiting that. I think he had kind of bespoke gloves made. And I think the noise is coming from like Ben Shalom, who's like obviously the Sky promoter who looks after Fraser Clark. I mean, it's unusual you would see a dent in the side of your head as what Clark got. But that is
a devastating knockout.
That is the sound of knuckle upon jawbone. I mean, that's why Fabio is a devastating boxer / fighter, and is now in the top 10 of the Ring magazines. As you know, the one I always rate. Inside, he's number 9 now in their ratings. So he's kind of arrived on the world stage. I mean, it was a phenomenal knockout. Thank God Fraser Clark was all right. I think a lot of people were worried about him, certainly in the aftermath. He went straight for surgery. Sounds like he's okay now, thank God. But yeah, it's looking good for Fabio. Let's see where he lands next. Pullman Road, maybe?
Yeah.
Or does he want the cheddar in Jeddah? Go back to Saudi? I don't know. The money's there, isn't it?
Money talks, but it's a devastating knockout, a great win for him. But yeah, what a fight. And I saw the highlights, as I say, when I got to the hotel early hours of the morning. It looked like a good fight, and I'm sure you probably enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, it's buzzing though to see like he come in the camouflage. He's still got like ITFC on his trunks. He's got the badge on the side. And you see Ashton this week, don't you, talking at that sort of football leaders event about how Sheeran, we'll come to that in a second, talking about like the impact Sheeran has in terms of a crossover star from music into football. And you know that the Fabio Wardley fight is going to into thousands, if not millions, of homes in the States, and Ipswich Town is a brand upon his trunks. So again, brilliant to see.
Yeah, before we get into what's on our mind ahead of tomorrow, you mentioned Ashton, obviously, and I sent you. I laugh. I'll tell people at home why I laugh. I sent you the comments earlier, or the comment earlier, and it was something along the lines of, "You couldn't get oxygen between us."
The oxygen again. What's with the oxygen? Why does he keep saying oxygen? It's not diver.
I just cringed when I heard that. It just, I read it. I was like, you can't get oxygen between us.
We said it from the top, haven't we? Like, listen, I don't want to do Mark Ashton down, right? Because I've said it on his show before. One of the greatest signings this club's ever done. What he's done for this club is phenomenal. But you put him in a situation like that, little microphone hooked around his ear, a panel of people, he turns into David Brent. And you've seen it on Town TV.
That was my first thought. Just cringed.
You've seen it on Town TV. You see it in those scenarios. I don't know. I just wish he had a bit more self-awareness, really, about those things. But that aside, he's been fantastic for us.
He's been brilliant. I'm not doing any disservice, but he was one step away from just doing that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But hell of a servant to the club, done a fantastic job. He can say and do what he likes, quite frankly. But I tell you what's on my mind, right, Matt, to kick us off.
Go on.
Opta, right? Opta. And I'm not one for
stats. You hate stats. Opta stats. You hate stats. XG and the like.
I hate stats until they're for my argument. Now they're for my argument, right? So a lot of chatter this week, a lot of sort of almost knee-jerk sort of comments or big statements, but opt to have us, Matt, as having had the second toughest start to the season, just behind Wolves. So Wolves have had the toughest. We're the second toughest. Are we not then just where the stats suggest we should have been, where the bookies suggest we would have been, where most fans, had they taken or had they removed the blue spectacles, hand on heart, are we not really where many fans would have also would have put us? Do we need, like, tomorrow must win, for example? I don't believe it's a must win, and it is in October. It might feel like it's late in the season because that fewer games, but we're right where we were supposed to be. We're obviously, and if I'm honest, Matt, right, 1 foot to the right, winning 2 points extra at Brighton, that's a win. You've not had the rob of the green in some instances. In other instances, you've had defenders passed across the goal, and setting up opposition strikers with assists that have been
great. That's our own decision making. That ain't in the lap of the gods.
No, but that's not me knocking Greaves. I think he's been a fantastic player start of the campaign, but the right decision here or there, and it looks a lot different. But we are where we're supposed to be, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting that you say that. I didn't know that. I mean, how do they even base that? I mean, I know we had the difficult start, Liverpool, Man City, but then obviously they've kind of rated Brighton and Villa that follow. I mean, so in that context, then to go 4 undefeated with the second most difficult start of the Premier League season, according to Opsa, not a bad return, really, is it? I mean, all that's missing is that one in the win column and the extra 3 points in there. Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, we rode our luck at Brighton. Unlucky not to score at that game, I suppose. We hit the post.
1 foot to the right, Matt, and you do win that game.
Yeah. Ditto Villa, I suppose. I may be unlucky not to win that. Oh, that Villa podcast I was watching, but we were crap. That was a bit harsh.
I'll be crap and take a 2-2 draw for Champions League side any day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we were crap against West Ham. Awful performance. Yeah. So let's hope that tomorrow yields something a little bit different. I mean, look, this club's always, like, when it's had a bit of a bad performance and we've questioned them, albeit in the Football League, they've always kind of bounced back and shown a good display. So hopefully we can do that at home against Everton tomorrow. But I'm not going to ask you to know this off the top of your head. What was worse than our start that Wolves have had then? I know they played Newcastle, they had Chelsea. We got done 6-2 by Chelsea, didn't they? Got Man City Sunday. I know they got Man City Sunday.
I didn't look at Wolves' start, to be honest with you, but I looked at it and I thought, the problem, I guess, Matt, is the schedule may get a little bit less daunting in terms of who's on it. No Liverpool, no Man City, etc. But the quality also goes down, but it doesn't go down a great deal. You're not going to rock up and play Cheltenham, Exeter, and Forest Green. Bang, bang, bang.
Heady days.
But do you know what I mean? So the quality dips, and people are going to say, like 80s here, bearing in mind where Town are placed at the moment, we should be beating teams like Everton. It's, by the way, Sean Dyche today, these games, or these teams, I think were his words. Not quite sure how I felt about that.
You shouldn't take him for granted, he said, didn't he?
Yeah. If not, where's our first?
One state ahead of us.
Yeah. But the problem is the quality isn't of a Man City, but it is still really high quality, and that's where the issue in the Premier League is that you don't get any drop off, because even the worst team, which
even you get even like when we go to Brentford in a week or so, wherever it is, even they've got like random stat. Well, they score like 3 or 4 goals inside the first 60 seconds on the trot.
Yeah. They've got a set piece coach, haven't they? Whose name escapes me, but it's really, when I read who it was, I was like, that's where he is. I'd have to try and Google it while you're talking. But is it must win tomorrow for you? What is that on your mind? Are you thinking it's a must win tomorrow?
Well, that is on my mind, because I said that to you earlier. Is it because people have been chatting to me all through the week? Is it a must win? Can you have a must win after 8 games? Maybe. I don't know. Why has everyone selected Everton to be the must win? Because they've been flirting with relegation over the last couple of seasons or something. I don't know. I mean, they're undefeated in what? We were discussing this earlier, weren't we? Undefeated in 3 to beat Palace, drew with Leicester. Should have probably lost to Newcastle, quite frankly. I mean, Newcastle missed a pen and Gordon had another chance and they got dominated, quite frankly. I mean, what was it? 11, 12 corners to Everton 0 at Goodison. They pretty much got dominated. And, I was saying to Crunch earlier, you look at their team, the 11 that started against Newcastle, and I don't think they look that good, to be honest with you. They look fairly ordinary. I know they've got some good players in there. They've got that Dwight McNeil.
Yes,
top goal scorer for them. Surprised to find out it was English and not American. He sounds like he should be reading the news on like Wisconsin weather or something. Over to Dwight McNeil. He looks a good player.
He is.
Calvert-Lewin, would you want him up front instead of Delap? I don't think so. I mean,
I'd like him off the bench as an option. That would be nice.
He seems like someone who's on the slide a little bit to me. Pickford, lucky to still be in goal for England. He was useless against Greece.
Oh, I'm not even a Pickford slander. Big Pickford fan over here.
What? Because you like his hair, not hair out of place.
That does go a long way with me, but no, I think he's a good goalkeeper. I think he's criminally underrated. I think if he had a name, I think a lot of times we look, Pickford he's all right. He's okay. But if he arrived from the continent, so for 30, 40, 50 million, I think it'd be a lot more respected, I think, by the neutral fan. I think it's...
I can't see Thomas Tuchel picking him. I mean, he's not even the best English-born keeper in the Premier League stats, so I don't know why he's been keeping his place. And of course, he didn't play against Finland. They played, what was it, Henderson? He played he played there. I do feel like there's holes that Ipswich can get into against Everton. Certainly, with us being at Portman Road and the advantage there, the big question is whether or not we can match the level that we showed against Aston Villa. I think if we do, we've got a really good chance of winning the game. But of course, we're coming off the back of a 4-1. The Villa game is 2 games down the line. The last game is West Ham. And we were defensively shambolic in that game right from the very start of the match. So hopefully it'll be a different story, different scenario at Portman Road. But I don't feel like it is I don't feel like it is a must-win. If I'm kind of floating that question because people have asked it this week. I don't know why Everton feels like a must-win. I would say maybe Leicester feels more like a must-win because I feel like they're going to be the sides that's going to float around the bottom 4 with us. I don't think
it's got anything to do with necessarily who we're playing. I think factors into it. I just think it's the clock's changed next week, and the Premier League scheduling is really messing with you. Like we're so conditioned to having played a lot more games by this point. More
Double.
home games, more. Yeah, exactly. And it's almost you always feel like, wow, it's nearly November and we've not won yet. You start to think, oh, this might not be good.
We're used to scoring goals. We're used to winning. We've done it
Very
over
true.
the last 2 seasons, and now we've come to a place that humbles you in the Premier League, and we're finding it difficult, and rightly so. And rightly so, we should be finding it difficult. But I mean, look, as we've discussed on the show before, and I think optimistic Phil, we said it on here before. Bournemouth didn't chalk up a win until the end of October, maybe, and then finished quite comfortably mid-table. I'm not expecting us to do that, but it's certainly not panic stations. And I think McKenna done his presser today, and he said, it's not something they're really thinking about. I'm sure they are. I think everyone wants.
They are.
You want to be winning games, don't you? Certainly, when you're so used to winning them, albeit at a level below, of course.
Yeah, I just think it feels like the season should be later than what it is at this point. Like the clock's changed next week. In 2 weeks' time, it's firework night. You feel like the season should be later than what it is.
I like the gap. I like all these gaps between games.
Yeah, I don't.
It shows you how many matches you have to play in the Football League. I mean, it's a ridiculous schedule. But maybe the Premier League is more suited to how McKenna wants Ipswich to play. We've said it before. The level of effort and the ground covered and the yardage covered. And you've seen it on the Sky stats. I think we're covering the most yardage or something. You couldn't do that Tuesday, could you? In the Championship, it'd be impossible. So I mean, maybe that style of play lends itself to the Premier League, and we've got the attitude and the coaching behind it to do it. So whether or not we've got the skill level to be able to put 3 points on the board. So far, we haven't been able to do it. Maybe we will tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
All right. Now, I brought a stat to the party. Now, I know you've got a stat to bring to the party, and it starts with my dreaded 2 letters.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I've been saying this all season. We ain't creating enough chances, are we? And our XG is what? We're bottom of the table in the XG. We might not be bottom of the table, the actual table that counts. But, if you ain't going to win games if you ain't shooting and trying to score goals. And we're bottom of that at the moment. And it's still a massive worry, I think. And we covered it before the international break. We've scored, 6? 4 of the goals are from Delap. How do we plug the gap that, takes that pressure off the shoulders of Delap? Who's going to step up and help him to score goals, to create chances? I don't see it at the moment. And even like Broadhead got minutes, didn't he, this week for Wales? And we've not seen him since last season. And even McKenna today said, our front 3, our front 4 are looking really solid. There's no fitness problems there. We've got depth there. It sounds like someone of Broadhead of quality that we saw in the Football League is going to struggle to break into the side this season. So And that's in a side that isn't really creating a lot. So, I mean, it asks a lot, doesn't it, of the three that sit behind Delap tomorrow to be able to, come to the party and make something happen. He's still, because Delap's made it all happen himself. The Fulham goal, the goals against Villa, the goal against West Ham last week. It's all on him. That's the worry.
The first goal against Villa on his own, that was Jack Clark and him linking up. That was a little bit
good cross, to be fair. Yeah.
Second one, certainly. But I would counter that, Matt, and say you can't say to start the show opt to have us as having this, the second toughest start without thinking, well, you're playing tough quality teams. Your chance creation is going to be, minimal. Had we been sat here with the easiest opt to start and our XG being in the toilet, I'd be saying, okay. Now we've got to really look at this and drill down into the minute details of what's going on. But because of the toughest, I'm going to sit there and sort of counter that and say, well, that's again plays into that tough start. You're not going to get many chances. You're not going to have many opportunities. But with McKenna seemingly today, I'm not quite sure. I've not read the full presser. I get the feeling that Amari's the 10 to stay, and that isn't really something we're looking at. I mean, he might pull a swerve on us, and we'll find Amari on the right tomorrow. You just don't know. But it feels like Amari's the 10 today, yesterday, and tomorrow, and long term, which we've got that balance conversation which we had a couple of weeks ago. But fans have now got to sort of get those notions out of their head. Amari's the 10. What's the best two around him, do you think?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I'm not sure we know, to be honest with you. There's question marks around Burns, whether or not he's a Premier League player. We've floated that before. It's been very good for us in League One. It's been really good for us in the Championship. It's a big ask to be able to step back to go through three divisions and have the same level of impact and same level of quality.
Another stat for you.
Fair play to him.
Fastest town player currently, Wes Burns, according to BBC.
What quicker than Ogbenny?
Currently, through the first 7 games, Wes Burns fastest. I think he was clocked at like low 30s.
Oh, okay, that sounds pretty rapid to me, quite frankly. Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's a challenge for Benny when he gets some time on the grass. See if he can beat it.
Yeah. Good luck to that, though, by the way. Fighting your way into the starting 11 to get the time to do it.
There's still a question mark over that right side for me. I've not seen much from Ogbenny particularly that makes me think he was worth £8 million. Well, I mean, that's kind of small change, really, when you consider we've
7
played
games in, man. We've had like 3 home games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, there's not that, as you say, games of, they're not thick and fast like the Championship. When they come along once a week, you've got to impress in that 90 minutes, haven't you? And not that I think Benny's been crap or anything, but neither do I think he's been outstanding either. In fact, the best game I saw him have was against England for Republic of Ireland on the telly. So, I mean, look,
shows you can do it against high quality opposition.
True. Let's see him settle in a little bit. So there's a question mark over the right. Certainly, it seems Clark and Davis on the left-hand side seem to be the duo there, don't they? And as you just rightly say, it sounds like Amari's going to be playing 10, where does that leave Smodix? You spent 9-10 million on him, the Championship's top scorer, warming the bench. That seems a bit weird to me. You can't get much better than the Championship's top scorer, right? Then going into the Premier League, you're not going to get any time. I don't know. That seems a bit odd to me, but I still like Amari on the right to me.
As would I, but we've got to sort of move away from that notion, I think, particularly, with it seemingly that we're wedded to Amari in that 10 role. You mentioned the games aren't thick and fast. Fixtures, I want to talk about those. There's been some moved, which I'm not against. I know some people don't like fixtures being moved, but I accept that's part and parcel of being in the Premier League. I'm okay with it. It has to be done. It's helped me in one instance, but in other instances,
me too.
by the by, really. But it's all these. I think the PFA, the Players Union, I think it's called the PFA, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Players Football Association.
Talking about strikes and
Rodri was
games. Yeah. For me, it's got to happen because this is getting silly. All these, there's so many games. We've already broken the season up twice for international breaks. Yeah. There's a third one already on the horizon. At what point can we as football fans just, forget TV changes, at what point can we start to sink our teeth into domestic football? Like, are we allowed to have a period of run of games where we can actually get our teeth into it? Not only as content creators, we can talk about it, but as actual fans that are following it, up and down the country, putting the hard miles in, going to Portman Road, blah, blah, blah. Like, every time you start to get your teeth into it, you think, right, this is it. They go, sorry, I'm taking that starter away from you. Where's the main? Oh, that's the week off now. Chef's gone on holiday.
Mm.
What's madness, Matt? It's mad.
Well, we helped ourselves, didn't we, by being crap against Wimbledon and then losing to them on pens. So we've been out of the Carabao. I mean, if you've got to lose a competition, it feels like that might be one that goes the Carabao. But yeah, they don't help themselves either, do they? Having international football after a big tournament in the summer, the Euros, to then, kickstart the domestic campaign with 2 international breaks, and like you rightly say, a third one in November. Then it goes quiet, doesn't it, till March? But then you've got a December that's going to be action packed. I think it's Ipswich playing 7 times in December. So there I am at the top of the show saying, oh well, we've got a format and a fitness ethic that suits once a week. I'll be out the window. I mean, a lot's going to be decided in December, I think. Certainly, do you know what I mean?
3 breaks off the back of a major tournament.
Stuff.
I mean, what is friendlies? Let's be honest. I mean, there's such friendlies. We've got a manager that's playing, testing a system without a striker in it.
Yeah. Well, that's proved his downfall now.
Yeah. Well, no, because it sounds like Tuchel had already been agreed, been talked
How did they keep that so quiet? Or maybe this is one for Sunday. How did they keep that so quiet? I don't know.
Oh, you're the FA man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got no idea. Done very well there. But yeah, I mean, look, they're not even like blue chip friendlies, are they? You ain't playing like a Brazil or an Argentina. You're playing bleeding Greece and
you got beat, by the way, so you can't be saying that sentence too.
Well, I liked how Greece set up in that game against England. I would like to see. They played 4-2-3-1. I would like to see Ipswich doing that. I mean, how did the winning goal come? Geezer,
we do play 4-2-3-1.
Geezer pumps it down the long down to our penalty box. And they scored from it. So there's a lesson there. I mean, look, what was the lesson at West Ham? Pass it out to Morsey. Pass it straight to a plethora of West Ham players. Maybe we should launch it long. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's no point. Sometimes I feel to myself like we're trying to match sides that are just much better at possession, play football, and passing out from the back. Whereupon I think Greece kind of recognised that and they scored their winner by pumping it long.
Did you just say we should launch it long?
When needs be, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Somewhere with his feet up, Mick McCarthy will be so proud of you. So proud of you, Matt, right now.
But Greece didn't look at England and think we're going to try and pass through the lines here. They counter-attacked us. And then right at the death, when it goes to 1-1, the keeper launches it long, ball falls loose, and they score from it. We tried to match West Ham and got beat 4-1.
I'm not going to say we move away from the principles that got us to the party, but I mean, sometimes, you have to go long. David's got a €20 donation. Appreciate that, David. Thank you ever so much. And gifted 1 Talking Town membership. David, you're an absolute hero. Thank you ever so much for your continued support of the platform. I really, honestly appreciate it. The good doctor, 20-year gap, probably has changed a lot. Did you get the swing of it, like it or not? It's a league to be in. Surely or just when their points start racking up, which they will. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just if they're having a break for player mileage, okay, but it's just a break to play more international games.
No one's actually having a break, are they?
No. And they're going to get fatigue, injury, breakdown.
You're traveling internationally.
Yeah, the quality goes down, and as a fan, I want the quality to be high. Anyway, half time. And what can the people do at home do at half? One day I will get this sentence right. Right, one day I will actually get this segue right. I promise you. It's half time. What can they do at home, Matt?
We want you, for the algorithm, FTA, like and subscribe. Smash the like button, but don't break your device because mine's not going to pay for any repairs.
Can't pay for my own repairs. Let alone anybody else.
Yeah, I've seen your face. Yeah. Multiple cracks.
Yeah, but we are partnered also with SolarWise Roofing and Building. Be wise this winter. Be SolarWise. Give Shane a call for a roof check. Hello.
Oh, these are terrible links, everybody.
Someone call a doctor. 01206 628 544. That's 01206 628 544. It's not quite a builder I need. It's a doctor, I think.
A lozenge.
After the whole 29 minutes, why is it decided to, in the middle of a segue?
Your mic's working, though. That's a new mic, isn't it, you're wearing tonight? Is that new? Oh, it's not the new one.
The mics for the post-match show. I've been battling with them all day. Finally got them working, hopefully.
Very good.
But I should have said also, Mike D suggested the Opta conversation in our Discord when we asked our Discord members for some topic points. But yeah, be wise this winter, be SolarWise. Give them a call or visit SolarWise Roofing and Building.co.uk. Right, we're rounding the corner. We're coming towards the end of the show. I say the end of the show. We've got lots to talk about. I'm just saying, trying to set the timer. Morsey, right? I mentioned stats earlier. I'm going to go to Sam Morsey. Most distance covered is our skipper, Sam Morsey. Which shouldn't really surprise anybody that he's covered the most distance. I would have thought, but you've got Kayust injured, you've got Massimo injured. He's got to walk that line now, isn't he? He's got to walk that line between suspension and non-suspension.
How long is he going to be around for? Is it one? He's only got one yellow left, hasn't he? And he's out, so he could, in theory, miss Brentford. I'll
tell you who wins that. I'll tell you who wins out of this, and this is possibly Jack Taylor, right? Because obviously the competition for those two positions, Phillips and Morsey's positions, is crowded. Sadly, now due to injury, it's not. This is a great opportunity for Jack Taylor, who's just got himself into the Ireland squad.
Yeah.
Opportunity will come knocking for Jack. He's now got to wrestle this with both hands, grab it, and not let go, because you might not get again during this season, certainly, the opportunity to have a run of games where you've got two midfield players out injured, then coming back from injury, possibly a skipper that's got a suspension at some point. This is a big opportunity for him, and I think he'll take it. But the table's ready, as they say.
Yeah, agreed. And if he does have to step up and play a game alongside Phillips, then it's tailor-made for him, isn't he? Because Phillips isn't box-to-box player, and we know that Taylor likes to push forward and shoot from distance. Perhaps he can make a mark. I don't know. But on the flip side of that, you want Morsey to stay available for selection as long as possible, because such a huge miss for us. I mean, Delap would be a huge miss. Morsey would be a huge miss. What are you laughing at? What's made you
tailor-made? I'm a big lover of puns. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly.
Dad jokes, man. One dad to another.
We don't want Delap missing games. We don't want Morsey missing games. But unfortunately, Morsey's game is that he gets booked more often than not. So I think he's going to miss either Brentford or Leicester. I mean, it stands to reason. I think he's going to miss one of those games. But it's tailor-made for Jack.
Tailor-made for Jack. Well, what else is on your mind this evening then, Matthew, as we come towards tomorrow?
So who's going to be playing in that kind of, whether or not we play a back three, the right side of that three, or whether we play the back four, who's going to be playing right back? Because Axel's going to be out for a considerable time, 3 months maybe, is the rumour, after washing up Gates. Still makes my knees go funny thinking about that.
This is why I don't wash up,
No.
I just refuse. Particularly now, I can use this, I got a dishwasher. Right? Just everything goes in the dishwasher. Even if it takes like 5 attempts to get it clean, it all goes in the dishwasher.
Yeah, that's good logic, I think, after all of this. So the big question is, who's going to play there then? I mean, we know, well, Chris Hall's been on this show and said Dara O'Shea's played right back previously. Johnson, Harry Clark is now back. A big question mark there, because Axel was so good. And we go back to the Brighton game. Marks Matoma out of the game. Matoma, an absolute quality Premier League international footballer. And Twanzebe was too good for him. He was too good for him. And I feel like, Johnson comes in against West Ham, does one of the worst back passes you'll ever see in your life outside of bloody, I don't know, Sunday League football. Cost us a goal.
It was a phenomenal back pass for all the wrong reasons, really, wasn't it? I mean,
it was like just off the park, wasn't it? It was unbelievable.
It was scary.
And but is Harry Clark going to be any different? Well, Harry hasn't had an opportunity in the Premier League yet, so it's very easy to write him off. Because again, he's someone who's been through League One and through the Championship with us. But Ipswich Town, born and bred, through the academy, didn't quite cut the mustard at Arsenal. Gets a second opportunity in the Premier League of Town. So let's see what happens. But there's a massive question mark there for me, that right-hand side. And Axel is a huge... Who would have thought this? Because even though I like Twanzebe, he was hardly pulling up trees when he came, did he? And he weren't very good against Leeds when he played in centrally. And I don't know, in that back end of the season last year, he was just like, I don't know, he made that right-back berth his own. It's going to be a big gap to fill, I think. Especially when you see the quality of wingers in the Premier League. That Mohamed Kudus, West Ham in the last game, shows exactly how good some of these players are.
It will be a huge shirt to fill, because he has been tremendous for us start of the season, and it's such a strange way to lose a player.
Isn't it? It's really
a
weird.
washing up incident.
Yeah.
You know, it just, you just shudder thinking about how he possibly did that. And we wish him nothing but the best with it. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's had surgery
Mm.
and all of that business. Obviously, now you've got Dara O'Shea, back concern. I know what that feels like. He should go Stowmarket Osteopaths.
Yeah.
Tell him to cover
Oh,
Senya.
man, he can, yeah. Feeding his magic fingers.
Trust me, Dara, he does magical things. But yeah, I can't see how you drop Johnson at this point. You've brought him in. He's not at the best of games. I wouldn't say dropping him would cause any sort of confidence issues, but I think you have to give him, more of an extended look than, one game where the whole, not the whole team, but a lot of the team were poor. Nothing went our way. I don't see how for me, I just don't see how you would manage that. But I'm not a manager. I'm a podcaster.
Well, it feels like he might play there, but whether or not you then go to back three, you're bringing in Wolfenden. We've seen earlier in the chat, there's rumours around Greaves' fitness.
So let's live in the
right?
What I was going to say was, but okay. So let's live in the world. Greaves and O'Shea don't make it. Let's live in this world for a minute. What's your back line going to be then? It's got to be.
O'Shea makes it, does he? Thank God.
No, he doesn't. No.
O'Shea
and Greaves don't make it in this world. Let's live in that world for a minute. Neither of those two make it. He's got no accent.
Well, Johnson will have to play the right side, I think. Then you're probably bringing back Wolfie to play centrally. Again, with big question mark of why. Then Cam Burgess on the left. But I mean, he's come back he's played his international break has been in Adelaide, playing for Australia, and in Japan for Australia, and then flying back. I mean, how
does that work? And this is going to sound like probably a really simple question. People are going to scream at their TVs, but like the Chicago Bears flew over here Tuesday to get adjusted to the time. Now, if he's gone to Adelaide for his international break, how does that work in terms of his body clock? Like, where's his body clock going to be? Because surely he wouldn't have kept a UK time while he's over there. He can't have done. So
I'd imagine he probably flew back as soon as he could have done, if not right after the game, maybe.
Which would have been when for me and anyone
so
else?
Australia played Tuesday, I think. Although is that Wednesday morning, really? GMT, probably Wednesday morning GMT time. So he would have probably he's coming back Thursday morning, most likely.
So
they come back yesterday.
So you got 2 days to readjust.
So it's not the greatest, is it? I mean, you could look. You could put Connor Townsend over in that left berth, I suppose. I mean, he's really a left back, I guess. But he has played, as Chris said, he has played centre back for West Bromwich before. He's 6 foot. So I mean, Dara O'Shea is around about the same height, I would have thought. So maybe, Fatigue could play the part, but I mean, it's just sod's law, isn't it? That you've now got question marks, albeit rumours, around O'Shea and Greaves, whether or not they're going to be involved tomorrow. I mean, they've been the mainstay, haven't they? For the last, since the Fulham game, really, Brighton onwards. Listen, they hardly covered themselves in glory at West Ham. I mean, Greaves, I felt was responsible for 2 of the goals. O'Shea had that block on the line. But it's quite a big thing, isn't it, to go back to a back line that was in League One against Everton. Regardless of what you think of Everton, you got to have Wolfie and Burgess in there, Leaf on the left-hand side, albeit probably playing in that kind of left wing back kind of role. Maybe Crunch said to me, maybe Burns plays right wing back potentially. I don't know. Interesting. We'll know at 1:45 tomorrow, won't we?
What I would say is, I go along with when you've got question marks at right back, or certainly you're trying to figure things out at right back, that Wes Burns almost becomes the de facto starter at right midfield, whether you play whatever formation you play, just because of what he can offer you defensively.
Agreed. Yeah.
It offers you more protection for whoever plays there, be it Johnson or Clark. But while you figure things out, particularly when you've got injuries elsewhere in that back line, that Burns almost becomes sort of first or second on the team sheet because of what he can do, not just going forward, but more defensively as well, out of the other options on that right side.
Problem Johnson's got as well, certainly with me, is that he does nothing spectacularly. So you can't look at Delap, right? You think to yourself, right, he's someone who can run with the ball. He's like a bulldozer. He's got physicality. He can shoot from distance. With Johnson, I just feel like he's just he's like a box ticker. There's nothing there that makes you think, oh, he does that really well. Like he sprints forward. he could put a good cross into the box. We've not really seen anything other than that through ball to Smodics at Man City, which was a lovely ball through. So I'll give him all the credit in the world for that. He got the assist for that. It was a really nice pass. But then his opportunities have been few and far between as well, haven't they? Because of Axel was trying to make that position his own. So maybe he needs a run of games for us to see what he can do. But
exactly what I was going to say.
The vibe I get off Johnson is he does nothing spectacularly, which is probably why West Ham fans weren't too gutted he left, maybe.
Well, I'm just sort of busily looking in to see if he came off against Man City, Johnson, at any point, which he didn't. So we've seen him over 2 full games. I feel that's far too early for any player to say, I don't know what they do well. Particularly when one of them's Man City, well, I would expect every single player to do nothing overly well against Man City. And obviously, Schmodic scored that goal. Johnson played that. But the moments you had in that game came through Ben Johnson, Sammy Smodics, which is a massive, almost a double tick in terms of, what's he brought over 2 games. Well, he's assisted at the Etihad. Well, that's not just 1 tick in terms of a good performance. That's 2 ticks. Because not many people will do that at the Etihad.
But then by the same token, then why is Smodics now finding himself on the bench? This is someone who's just scored against, Champions League winning side.
Because he's not a left winger.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But
I mean, I paid 20 odd million for him, which is probably why Amari maybe gets nudged forward. But I mean, then Amari hasn't scored 27 goals in the Championship either.
Yeah.
I don't know. Swings and roundabouts, this, isn't it? I'm sure Smodics will play a part. Like you always say, you can make numerous subs now. Was it 5 off the bench? You can make an impact in the last half an hour of the game.
We've got a great comment from Macca in our chat. Welcome in, Mac. I've done that flight quite often. It can be very different depending on whether you fly business class. Coming back to England is not as hard as going out.
He's not summing it in economy, is he? He's in one of them little booth things up in first class, I should imagine. Yeah, exactly. What's he moaning about? Sounds all right.
Yeah. Texas Tractor Boy, good point, Gov. Burns' contribution defensively are often overlooked. Yeah, often by me as well. I'll be honest.
He was I think he did start off his career as a right back, didn't he? When he was at Bristol City, I want to say, maybe that era of his career. Certainly, I think he played there for Fleetwood on occasion.
Cool. All right. Well, look, we've chewed that one. We've done that one, Joe. I reckon we're done for the night. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. It isn't a must-win for me.
We've chewed the toffee.
It's a must. Your home games are really important. Make it a fortress. Don't get beat. Whatever happens, just don't walk out and got beat. It's not a must-win, but it certainly feels like a mustn't lose situation.
No, I probably agree with that. Again, I don't want to see Ipswich fans sleeping on Everton. I don't know why everyone's suddenly singled out Everton to be this team that's going to be the Ipswich Town Patsy, and then we get 3 points. I don't get it.
But me and the fellow we sat down with midweek,
Mike.
Thank you very much. I was thinking Matt and talking to Matt. It was Mike. Great show, by the way. I think we nailed on it really a little bit when we spoke about each other's football clubs. A lot of times as fans, unless the game is on Sky and you happen to sit down and catch it, what we see are highlights. So what we see are moments of games. And like we've all sat here and watched Everton capitulate a couple of times. And I think as fans, you walk away with maybe, not the full picture of what that team's done or what they can do and the circumstances around each game. Because I don't know about you, and I might be wrong for other people who watch this show. I don't watch every single Premier League team's game, 90 minutes.
Who's got time to do that?
Well, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if I catch an Everton game, it's on Sky, great. But if not, it'll be on Match of the Day when they're beaten by Bournemouth 3-2. And all you really see is those moments where they're not.
That's what everyone's thinking, right? They're 2 up in the 90th minute or 85th minute or whatever. They lose 3-2 to Bournemouth. Listen, they go to Villa Park and go 2 up there. Eventually get beaten 3-2.
But again, they capitulate. So you walk away thinking, this is a fragile team, a weak team.
So the big question in mine is, do we have the strike force, which goes back to what we said earlier about XGs and taking the pressure off the lap? Do we have the strike force, the creativity, the impact to get into to Everton and score quickly and go 2 up quickly? The jury's out for me. I'm not sure at the moment.
Mike was telling me that they've been very weak against pace and spaces in between the back line and the midfield, but they seem to,
didn't they? They let you have the ball and try and counter you. That could well play into our hands, actually.
Yeah,
that could play into our hands. But again, can we take the opportunities when we get them? And I suppose we did to some intents and purposes against Villa to get the 2-2. But I don't know. It just feels like it's all on Delap's shoulders again for me tomorrow.
It was
That's
quite
not a
funny
great
because
place to be in, I don't think.
it's not, but it's the world we have to live in for the time being, Matthew.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, you know. I wanted a BMX for Christmas. I didn't get one.
Well, we wanted Brozier, didn't we? And obviously, you said to Mike that he obviously goes to Everton, and if you listen to Dyche's press conference, he's only just returned to training. Something he'd be no good to us either. So he'd still be in the same space.
Yeah, no, exactly. And what I did find interesting in the conversation with Mike, and this is a promotion to go and watch it, but please do go and watch it. He was almost saying back to me the sort of stuff we've been talking about in terms of Everton, like Dyche's teams is they like to defend the width of the box, and I've been saying all these things, haven't I? Like is he on borrowed time there? If he's not doing the things he was famous for at Burnley and brought into, defensive coach, solid, sound structure, doesn't give many gaps, but it sounded like they were literally doing what we were talking about in terms of they weren't playing to the the Sean Dyche principles. But now they seemingly have come back round and turned that corner, 3 unbeaten, and are doing that now. So it'd be interesting tomorrow to see if we can stretch that game, flood it with pace, and really play in. I think Amari or whoever plays the 10 will be really key tomorrow in that midfield gap. Can they pick up the space and can we stretch it and really can we hurt them the way other teams this year have hurt them?
Spurs absolutely like them, didn't they, by stretching them? I mean, they was all over. That was your favourite Steve Wilson line, wasn't it, when Pickford comes out?
Yeah.
He came out running like Forrest Gump. Carried on running.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Pickford all over for you.
One swallow doesn't make a summer, Matthew, and one mistake doesn't make a bad goalkeeper.
Let's just hope he's the Pickford that we saw against Greece.
Tomorrow I hope he's absolutely terrible. Yeah, I hope he's absolutely shit.
Yeah, I do feel like, I've been sort of umming and ahhing about what I think the score might be tomorrow. I was thinking 1-1 maybe. I like to think, looking at their side, it does seem kind of ordinary. And I don't know about Calvert-Lewin. He seems to be someone who's on the slide to me. Certainly not someone who's on the upward trajectory of their career. Like Mike said, he was out injured for a long time and he felt a little bit bitter about how the club had treated him in between managers. I think Benitez throws him out, something like that. So, I would certainly want Delap over him. But then on the flip side of that coin, where I feel like we could maybe edge it 2-1 tomorrow, you're going into like this sort of defensive abyss for Ipswich, shouldn't you, if it's going to be Wolfenden and Burgess? I mean, Burgess was bloody awful against Wimbledon.
Yeah, but we'll see. But you're going to go, what scores?
I think we'll win tomorrow. I'm going to go, look, hope springs eternal. 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1 as well. Macca says, well, I've not thought about a BMX for about 40 years. No, I hadn't. My point was more that I didn't get one, but you've got to move on and you can't always live in the past. But as you can see, I'm still clearly hung up on
it's still in there, isn't it? Yeah.
I'll get a BMX for Christmas. So maybe you never do move on. Maybe Matt will forever be sat here saying about if we'd only got a striker. It's a sliding doors moment, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen?
It's all context, though, isn't it? I mean, like if you'd said at the start of the season, Everton with the start they had and the 2-goal leads they were losing, and off the back of our, the really good performance we had against Fulham, everyone was looking at Everton and thinking, oh well, that's 3 points, isn't it? But then they suddenly go 3 unbeaten. We lose 4-1 at West Ham, and now we're all thinking, well, what's going to happen? But yeah, I mean, come on, let's be that 12th man. We've seen it against Fulham, we've seen it against Liverpool, we've seen it against Villa. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Colin says Ipswich Town FC 2, Everton 1. My mum scored. Bless her. Yep. Hopefully she's on the money tomorrow. Colin, it's a 2-1 win. But we're done for the night. We are back tomorrow, obviously, for our match reaction. I've been testing the microphones all day. They are working at the moment. I can confirm they are working at the moment. Will they work come crunch time? Who knows? But we are back tomorrow. And we are, of course, back Sunday for more absolutely in-depth reaction to what we've just seen. We'll talk about the England appointment on Sunday as well. We've got a little bit more time and we can discuss what we think about that. I know it's been making lots of conversation on social media this week. But yeah, we're done. We're dusted. Matt says 2-1. I'll say 2-1. Let us know your scores in the comments. Survivor League is paused for 1 week and 1 week only because I may have messed up who's still in it and who's not on the last show.
Like you at all, Martin.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's a vote of confidence. It's really appreciated, that vote of confidence. If you were my chairman now, I'd be looking at jobs. It's the dreaded vote. But no, I may have messed up. I've had a few messages. All right, I'm not confirming I have. I'm not confirming that I haven't.
Okay.
But we're pausing it for 1 week, 1 week only.
The international breaks ruined you because of the Chicago Bears. You took your mind off the game.
I did.
Now you got to go back to it.
Well and truly. Yeah, well and truly took my mind off the game. But AD says 2-1, David says 2-1. Let us know your scores in the comments.
Lump on. It's all lump on 2-1, fiver.
Yeah, we're only 20 minutes over my half an hour time limit, as always. But here's Matthew Phillips. I am the Gov. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. And don't forget, Stowmarket Osteopaths, give Freddie a call. I'm on 449-613-633. But we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for choosing Talking Town, and good night.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down or when I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I felt went crazy from just the thought of you. A long